Hey everyone, and welcome to Tony for Hidden Gems. I mean Tony for you. There are a lot of SMT games, like, a lot. I've played my fair share, and I think at this point I've played more than the average fan of the series. From mainline numbered entries like Shin Megami Tensei's 1 through 5, every Persona game out there, and the spin-offs like Devil Survivor and Digital Devil Saga. There are more out there though. Some you may not have played, like the Devil Summoner series, and some you may not even know existed, like Majin Tensei and the Last Bible series. Today, I bring you a handful of these lesser-known entries that deserve much more appreciation than they get, and hopefully get some more spotlight on them. This list will include the Persona series and some spin-offs that may not be considered SMT, but hey, it's my list. For each entry, I'll give a brief story summary as well, so if you're looking for a game to play next, I got you covered. Without any further ado, let's get into the list. But before we get into the list, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, buyee. If you're anything like me, you probably like to collect things. And if you enjoy this channel, you most likely want things from Japan. But we've all been there, right? You find the perfect piece of merch, but you can't afford it. It's just too expensive. Or they're not shipping to you. Well, say goodbye to that feeling after learning about today's sponsor, buyee. This is a Japanese website that can place bids and orders on your behalf and ship it right to you with no hassle or ridiculous markup. With storefronts like Yahoo Japan Auction, Rakuten, Maquire, and even Amazon Japan, you'll find anything you'd want. It's the perfect sponsor for the list, in case anything I talk about piques your interest. They offer support in several different languages and ship worldwide, so wherever you are, you'll get what you need. They offer several different payment and shipping methods as well, so don't worry about a thing. With this website, you'll never have the fear of missing out. If you're interested, sign up using the link in the description below to get 2,000 yen off your first purchase. Check it out, and thanks buyee for sponsoring the video. Maken X, not to be confused with Maken Shao, which is not the same game, but kinda is. It's complicated. Maken X is a Dreamcast game that came out in 1999 with art from the famous Kazuma Kaneko, and is unlike any other game I've played. Okay, so this isn't technically an SMT game, but it was made by a lot of the same people that made Shin Megami Tensei. With Shoji Meguro of Nocturne and the Persona games as the composer, Kazuma Kaneko of most SMT games as the artist, and Koji Okada of the classic SMTs and classic Personas as the director. This game also has an alignment system, oddly enough, with tons of branching paths and optional characters, so it's an SMT game in all but name. In this game, you play as an artificial intelligence dubbed Maken. Made in a lab, Maken is an artificial brain with no sense of self. When transferring the psi of a human to its brain, Maken will adapt and become a mindful entity. Kei and her friend appear in the lab, explaining this all, impressing her father, while her tutor Fei Chao awakens Maken. When awakened, Maken quickly transforms into a weapon akin to an executioner's sword. Just when the awakening is completed, however, a strange man in a military uniform appears and wreaks havoc on the area, shooting scalpels from his mouth and killing several people, including Fei Chao. In his dying breath, your tutor says if you follow the blood agreement, you will save everyone. Kei takes the sword and is brain-jacked by Maken, thus beginning your quest to save the world. This game is a first-person melee-focused hack-and-slash, which is a genre sorely lacking in entries. The fluid movement and satisfying feedback from each weapon swing, block, and kill is amazing. The brain jack mechanic is an extremely genius system where instead of playing through the game as just one character and adding moves onto them like most other action games, Maken syncs up with the psi of fallen enemies, hijacking their bodies and utilizing them in battle. That means after every boss, you get to play as that boss, with all new playstyles and special moves. This includes an Indian TV star, the President of the United States, and an innocent pilot forced to fight demons and abandoned in China. Sorry man. The game has several branching paths that have unique characters and plenty of hidden bosses, giving this game a ton of replayability. Defeating enemies and picking up the psi orbs they drop increases your rank, giving you access to higher level characters. Unfortunately, for the best characters, specifically the President, you will need to do some grinding. The bosses overall are a ton of fun, with them being pseudo-puzzle bosses with multiple different ways of sneaking in damage and optimizing your run, and the stages preceding them are tons of fun to go through. The game has its fair share of issues, with grinding, weird hit detection, and insane difficulty ramp up near the end. The good far outweighs the bad though, as the music, art direction, multiple routes and endings, and turn your brain off fun make the game a great use of your time. It's a really short game too, so if you have a couple hours to spare, check it out on the Dreamcast. Just remember, not the PS2 Maken Shao version. Devil Summoner, Raidou Kuzunoha vs King Abaddon, or just Raidou 2. I'll sing this game's praises every chance I get. You might remember me talking about this title in my top 5 SMT games video. Of the PlayStation 2 era Megaten games, some would say the golden age of Megaten. The Raidou series is the one I see consistently getting snubbed. This game is a complete departure from the other games in the series, gameplay-wise, story-wise, and even setting-wise. The Raidou series are hack-and-slash games focusing on a secret organization called the Yatagarasu, taking place in 1930s Japan, starring the titular Raidou Kuzunoha XIV, the man chosen to protect the capital of Japan. Coming hot off the heels of his first case, Raidou goes back to work in the Narumi Detective Agency, a special business focusing only on special jobs. Together with your boss Shohei Narumi and Goto Doji, your ancestor inhabiting the body of a cat, long story, a young girl named Akane walks in hopes of you finding her missing brother Dawn. They agree, but little do they know what would start as a simple missing persons case would evolve into a world-ending catastrophe involving the demon realm. This game has my favorite cast of characters in any SMT spin-off game. Shohei Narumi is the competent business owner, only knowing of the spirit world's existence, but not much else. He treats Raidou with respect, and attempts to help him as best as he can with the limited knowledge he has, as a person rather than a spiritual warrior. Tei Asakura, a young female reporter completely unaware of the spiritual realm. She provides most of the comic relief and has great chemistry with the rest of the cast. And Goto Doji, Raidou's ancestor and guide in all things spiritual. This cat provides invaluable information on the history and nature of the world, as well as being an almost fatherly figure to Raidou himself. The young girl Akane and her missing brother Dawn are some of my favorite side characters in all of SMT, and while it's difficult to go into their character without divulging spoilers, just know their story is one discussing topics most games would shy away from. It's one I will not be soon forgetting. Raidou 2 has quite a serious tone when it comes to the narrative itself, with some alignment decisions I thought on longer than any other in the series. The game also has one of the most nuanced portrayals of alignment due to its setting not being one of reshaping the world. In this game, alignment is simply the way Raidou carries himself when executing the tasks set out for him by his superiors. Raidou Kuzunoha is simply a title passed down to each protector of Tokyo, hence why you are the 14th, but each protector is different. A chaotic Raidou will uphold his individuality and make decisions as a human. A more lawful Raidou will accept the duty assigned to him and make decisions for the greater good of the region. And a neutral Raidou will seek a compromise between the two extremes. With multiple twists and turns and bombshells throughout the plot, this game was difficult to put down. The gameplay is a greatly enhanced version of the first Raidou game, with the addition of dodge rolling, multiple party members, and demon recall button allowing for a much more strategic flow of battle. The encounter rate stays extremely high, but hey, if you're playing a PS2 era SMT game, you already know what you're signing up for. The bosses, however, are all extremely unique, with their telegraphed moves requiring the ability to pick up on patterns and sneak in damage. Like I said, any opportunity I get to talk about this game, I'll take. Please play this game if you've been putting it off. It's a fantastic time. Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Bet you didn't expect this game on the list, but it really is fantastic. I love rhythm games personally, and this is a very competent one, but if that was it, there's no reason it would make the list. The real reason is that when I was playing through this game, I genuinely got hit with the realization that this game has way too good of a story to just be a fun Persona 4 side game. Persona 4 dancing is canon to the Persona universe, and somehow makes dancing to defeat shadows a genuinely moving experience. The game starts out unique to any other Persona game, with your character being a guest to the Velvet Room, but with nothing to do. To pass the time, you and Margaret chat, and she tells you the story of when Yu Narukami and his friends saved the world through the power of dance. Sometime after the events of Persona 4, Rise decided to return to show business. After all the growth she went through in the events of the main game, she wanted to invite all of her friends to dance with her on the stage for her grandest, most important performance yet. During practice, Rise brings members of Kanamine's Kitchen, a fellow idol group headed by Kanami Mashita, a name you might remember if you paid close attention during Rise's social link. Every member has distinct character traits, but there's much more to each of them than first meets the eye. Eventually, Rise talks about a rumor very similar to the Midnight Channel, but instead of the TV at midnight seeing your true love, it's the concert venue's website at midnight stealing your soul. Just like the Midnight Channel, this rumor turns out to be true as well, and a portal opens up above the party, dragging them into another world with strange yellow ribbons. A disembodied voice tells them they're in an ideal world where no one hurts or gets hurt. As proof, the audience is filled with the once hostile shadows now swaying in a docile manner, wrapped in the same yellow ribbon you were kidnapped with. Any act of violence is stopped immediately, so their personas are useless. The party's will is drained from them, and they are about to give in to this horrible realm and the mind-numbing music playing in it. But before all hope is lost, Risei's Walkman drops on the ground, playing a song. When the shadows hear the song, they stop their swaying and give Risei their full attention. The shadows can't be beaten back, and can't be reasoned with, so the only option left to express yourself in a non-violent and non-verbal way is dance. From this point on, Yu and his friends delve deeper into this strange world and save those forcefully brought into it through the self-expressive power of dance. Sounds ridiculous if you just hear the last few sentences, but honestly, something about this game's story was just so amazing to me. It carries the same theme of Persona 4 so beautifully of helping others find their true selves from the perspective of those who have gone through those struggles already and overcame them. When you save the members of Kanami's kitchen who were kidnapped, each of them have some parallels to the main party and are helped in their journey through life by them as kind mentors. Even outside of the main party, Kanami herself works with Ryotaro Dojima and Nanako in the real world to uncover hidden truths of not only the rumor, but the disappearance of an idol many years ago, as well as the history of the idol agency itself. Persona 4 dancing, above all else, is an extremely fun rhythm game to play. As I said before, I love the rhythm game genre, and this one is very easy to get into. There aren't any peripherals you need to buy like DDR, or insane challenges like some Osu tracks, just 6 buttons, a scratch, and your own rhythm. Just remember to set the scratch button to L1 and R1. The story is a blast to play through, and the free play mode has tons of incentive with unlockable costumes, multiple partners per song, and alternate game modes. The dance choreography is amazingly well done, and I never got tired of seeing each party member's unique way of expressing themselves. If you slept on this and thought it was just a joke side game, think again, as it's really something special. The other Persona dancing games are another story though. That's just a few of what I think are the most underrated SMT games. Let me know your thoughts on the list and what you think are the most underrated games in the series in the comments section down below. And while you're down there, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Special thanks to Anton, Big T, Frankie Stone, Heavenly Potato, Jim Taylor, Konyuna, Matt M, Mega X 454, Mr. 8 Eyes, POTW Gold, Picaro, The Toaster Messiah, Video Gamer 75, and many more for supporting the channel on Patreon. If you'd like to support, check the link in the description below. There's many more games that deserve to go on this list, so maybe I'll make a follow-up in the future. Either way, thanks for watching this list of hidden gems, and I'll see you in the next Tony For You. Have a good one.